So with that, Mr. McConnell, you are recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, for the opportunity to testify today. I will discuss how this plan does not impact the environment, and then discuss the large and disturbing impact on what we, at your alma mater of Rice University, Mr. Chairman, call energy sustainability. The Clean Power Plan has been falsely sold as impactful environmental regulation, when it's really an attempt by our primary federal environmental regulator to take over federal and state regulation of energy. Let me be very clear. I believe science and technology confirms that the climate is changing. I'm not in denial. I also believe science and technology confirms that CO2 is a contributor or a forcing function for climate change. It's certainly not the exclusive forcing function, but it is a major contributor. These two facts, I believe, are scientifically and technically documented, and we have an obligation as a society to address those concerns. But with that said, what's also clear, scientifically and technically, is that EPA's plan will not significantly impact global emissions. If the definition of clean was simply the reduction of atmospheric CO2 levels, and that's a naively narrow and incorrect perspective, by the way, but even if it were, then this Clean Power Plan is not the pursuit of clean. If you refer to the chart being projected, and has been referenced earlier in discussions today, I've previously testified that the Clean Power Plan reduces the amount of anthropogenic CO2 globally by 0.2%, less than 1 ppm. That global temperature rise would decrease by 0.01 degree Fahrenheit, and the resulting sea level rise reduction would be 1/100th of an inch, which is about the equivalent of 2 human hairs. These are scientific and technical facts, and facts are stubborn things. For context, consider that all of the U.S. annual emissions in 2025 will be offset by 3 weeks of Chinese emissions. 3 weeks. So it's dramatically uneventful. Is this impactful climate regulation? I think not. A committee dedicated to science and technology surely cannot and should not recognize this as effective climate legislation. I certainly won't sit here and recognize it as such. The other stubborn fact is that the U.S. energy landscape is made up of the makers and the takers. The makers, such as your home state of Oklahoma, my home states of Ohio and Pennsylvania, and my adopted home of Texas, supply the vast majority of all forms of energy, electricity as well as petrochemicals and fuels, to the heartland of America, and it's the foundation of our U.S. competitiveness in manufacturing and jobs. These makers also bear the disproportionate CPP implementation burden, as 7 states bear 40% of the actual CO2 reduction. The takers? Well, they have the good fortune to receive reliable, low-cost energy from those that make, but bear little burden in terms of responsibility for this so-called societal plan. What I'll recognize is that the Clean Power Plan will cause double-digit electricity price increases in over half of our states, from not just the operating costs of generation, but the hidden costs of this regulation in transmission investment and necessary reliability redundancy. Energy sustainability means energy that's accessible, secure, and affordable. Affordable for our citizens and for global manufacturing, and it's environmentally responsible. And I submit to you that through transformative technology that focuses on the emissions of electricity production and not the fuel, that every major source of energy we have today can be used in an environmentally responsible manner. That's a real all-of-the-above strategy. The Clean Power Plan is not. It's a waste of citizens' money with redundant capital charges and charges for electricity for no environmental benefit. You know, when the EPA was hatching the Clean Power Plan, I was witness to EPA asking my office at the Department of Energy in fossil energy to comment on an EPA-defined concept of resource adequacy, not reliability. And you might ask why. Well, it's inconvenient truth. For those wondering what resource adequacy means, it means there's sufficient theoretical capacity to generate power above predicted demand. But this is simply theoretical linguistic mumbo-jumbo, offered by that agency in order to sound like a thoughtful analysis. It's theoretical, but it's not thoughtful. Reliability means reliability, and available power means available power, not theoretically available. As the legality of the rule, I'm no lawyer, but I am a citizen, and I believe the comments that have been made today about the legality are certainly worth thinking about and considering strongly. Science and technology requires real understanding and real facts. The CPP is not worthy of that, as it doesn't meet those tests. I wish this discussion could be about relevant and impactful technology development for all electricity generation and not misguided regulatory policy. That's if we all really care about energy sustainability. Thank you.